Good morning, wonderful, wonderful, lovely, wonderful people. How are you all today? I wanted to quickly follow up on a vlog that I put up last week where I asked you guys about coaching and what you thought about coaching and if you thought coaching was for you and what barriers you might have to coaching. My thinking behind putting that post up is it's very interesting to see what people's view of coaching is. And the reality is that I think for most of us, coaching is not something that we really consider. It's not really been on our radar. I don't know about you, but for me, I first encountered coaching in the workplace, and it was kind of something that came along with the job, and that was within the corporate world. And you got coaches and you got mentors, but it wasn't necessarily called coaching. It was just that it was the act of coaching. And what's interesting is if we look at the act of coaching, is that it's very much about giving the tools and giving the access to be able to better oneself to ultimately create better action from that individual, especially in the workplace. When we look at coaching in the general sense, certainly from my personal perspective, coaching for me is about happiness. And when I say happiness, I'm not talking about, lots of hippies and everyone sitting in corners, and no offense if you are a hippie. I believe I used to be something similar in my youth. It's much more of a grounded and more solid part of the human experience. And we all want happiness if we're all true to ourselves. Happiness could be you want you want a house, you want a big mansion, you want a car. So these are all material things, but as we find out from many celebrities who speak out in their, later in their careers, talking about that money doesn't bring happiness, and we all hear that. And then for lots of us who don't have huge amounts of money, all go like, yeah, whatever, it would be great. But it doesn't bring happiness. It brings things. Spiritual happiness, internal happiness, true happiness, that comes from our family, our friends, us having great experiences, us feeling positive within ourselves, feeling good about ourselves. Those times when we do something right and we feel great, that's all happiness. So how do we get to happiness? As I've spoken before in previous vlogs, happiness or sustainable happiness is a blog that I wrote on the website, which you can check out, where I talk about all of the things that we do that are modalities, vehicles to happiness. So if you enjoy kayaking, that can make you feel happy, but kayaking is not happiness itself; it just makes you feel happy. So it's finding the things that make you feel happy. Something that I heard this morning, I think that really resonated with me, was that happiness is not a privilege, it is a birthright for every single human being on this planet. You should be, you within your life, an abundance of happiness should be around you, majority of the time. And if that's not the case, it is absolutely possible. For many of us, it's not the case. I heard a great analogy this morning from a book called Positive Thinking, Positive Life, which I highly recommend you check out. It's a fairly short book. And in that he talks about how if you imagine negativity is like you're playing in a mud pool, the more you play in it, the more you get covered in mud. And then once you're out of that mud and you're interacting with other people, you then touch them and you cover them in mud. And then the negativity just spreads and spreads, and people, they then get more negative, they play more in the mud, so to speak, and then it gets more negative, and you actually become a producer of negativity, because you see things negatively. So as he talks about in the book, the old man or woman that, the kids kick the ball into the garden, and then he's grumpy and keeps the ball because the noise the kids are making, he can't think straight. And thought processes like that are not very powerful, and they diminish everybody in the mix. Whereas if you're able to just get past that and you're able to get beyond the sound of the kids playing, or enjoy the sound of the kids playing, you'll find that you'll be happier, they'll be happier, and you actually spread happiness, which is a very different experience. So there are ways to be happier, and my ultimate point here is that coaching, my coaching, and I believe all coaching, is about getting you closer to happiness, within different facets of your life, whether it be within the workplace, getting more achievements, whether it be within your personal life, whether it be in relationships, whatever it may be. There's many different types of coaching out there, but happiness is the ultimate result for all of it. And again, remember that happiness is not defined by anything really other than our own personal reaction to modalities that got us there. So be it getting that deal at work, be it having happier teams, be it having a greater relationship with your partner, be it any of these things. So happiness is within our hands, and it absolutely can be learnt, because it's about a practice, it's about a habit, and it's something we do every day. Okay, that's definitely long enough. I'm going to do my press ups now. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right, my friends, have a top banana day.